Hey, what's up, everybody? My guest today, I just asked him, does he have an alias? Most people in the music business, managers, agents, publicists, I don't know, they get on the road and they got another name than their real name.
Yeah.
What's yours?
For a long time, I used Mike Lowry
Why Mike Lowry?
because Will Smith's one of my favorite actors, and Bad Boys was like the thing for me. And I just thought I was the pretty boy, the cool guy. So I was like, Mike Lowry.
I thought you would have went with like petty officer something from the Navy days.
That confuses a lot of people because you'd be surprised at how many people don't know like what naval ranks are. They think all of our ranks are like Army, Marines,
Sergeant,
Captain, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I get that
And
too.
they're like, you're a what?
Now, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Atlanta. The
Did
east
you?
side, Stone Mountain, Georgia, yeah.
And joined the Navy out of high school?
No, I went to college in Nashville, Lipscomb University, for a year. During that summer of '99, or summer of 2000, I transferred to Tennessee State. And then I realized I didn't want to go back to school. So I told my dad, I was like, I'm not going to school. And he's like, well, as long as I'm paying for stuff, you're going to do what I say. And I was like, oh, I can fix that.
You joined the
Then
Navy?
I went to the Navy, yeah.
You enlisted?
2 weeks later, yeah.
That's what's interesting. Once you get a taste of college, most people would want to join the Navy as an officer.
Right,
For you to come in as enlisted
yeah.
is, did you ever look at the officers like, if I just waited 2 more years?
Yeah, so
I'd be where you're at.
I didn't know. I had no aspirations of joining the military. This was a whim. I had a lot of impulsive decisions when I was younger. I was back in Atlanta. Atlanta was always, pretty hot. And I was, getting involved in stuff that I shouldn't have been getting involved in. And I was like, I got to change my whole, world. I was like, the way I'm going this way is not going to end up well for me. So I was like, me and my pops was going at it. We were arguing back and forth all the time. And I was like, I got to figure out something. And I'm literally sitting on the couch, smoking a blunt, sitting on the couch. Navy commercial comes on. And I'm like, huh. No lie. I call an uncle of mine. My mother passed away when I was very young. She has a lot of brothers and sisters in North Carolina. So I called my Uncle Joseph and I said, hey, Uncle Joe, you were in the Navy? He was like, yeah. I was like, did you like it? He was like, man, it was awesome. He was in the Navy in the 80s. And he was like, we went to all these different islands and, the women everywhere were just waiting outside the fence. I said, oh, okay, say no more. So I told a couple of my friends, I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna join the Navy. And I had 2 friends that just joined the Army the year before, right out of high school. And one was in Kuwait and the other was in, he was doing operations in Baghdad. This is when Saddam was still around. And I said, yo, do y'all like it? He was like, I mean, it's cool, we on the base, we were about to go hoop, but then they started bombing like a mile away. So we just stayed in and I was like, all right, say no more.
Yeah.
So I went to the recruiting station, I want to join the Navy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because when the Gulf War and everything broke out, I was out of the Navy, so I started doing I did some shows on Navy ships. I was talking to one of the captains one time, and he goes, yo, we're like bulletproof out here. He said the Navy lost like 6 sailors since it started. And on the water, he said 6 people die in Detroit every night. Because we're bulletproof out here.
Yeah.
Navy guys, they're pushing buttons. They're not.
Yeah.
I always said that. When the guys, you be watching like those reunions on the internet, and you'll see the guy surprise his daughter at the basketball game and they're hugging. But he's been gone for a year. I go, if you're in a Navy outfit, you had bingo night.
Right.
We played dominoes on
You
Tuesdays.
should have been home at some point.
Yeah, your life wasn't in danger. Stop acting like you were like on the front lines, like you said, bombs all around you. I was like this, dude. Come on, omelets made to order. You gained 20 pounds at war.
Oh yeah, I was so cool with all the MSs in the galley.
how
I
does that
would
work?
get down there tasting everything.
What was your rate?
I was an OS 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Where
I
was
worked
A school at?
I worked in my A school was in Virginia Beach and Damnick.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I did my boot camp at Great Lakes, and then I actually broke my hand 2 weeks before we were supposed to graduate, and I knew if I would have went to medical, they would have asthmaed me back 4 weeks until I was healed. So I just I acted like my hand wasn't broken the whole time. It had gotten purple and discolored.
That's crazy, Kenny. Should I didn't even say your name yet? I just been going. What's your alias? My guest is Denzel Washington this
Mike
week.
Lowry. Mike Lowry.
Kenny Hamilton.
Yes.
It's Kenny Hamilton's my guest. I'm sorry.
Thanks for having me,
Producer
man.
extraordinary. Yeah. Our story. The reason I wanted you on is because our stories are different, but similar.
Yeah.
And what's funny is how we both went in the military and then got in the entertainment business. Now, I'm more in front of the camera. You're more behind.
Absolutely.
But when you say you broke your hand 2 weeks for graduation, lesser scale, I got an ingrown toenail on both big toes because the boots was a little narrow, right? Navy boots.
Yeah.
And literally my toenail was coming through my toe. We had like a week and a half left.
Yeah.
So I was just like, if I tell them I'm gonna go to medical and I'm gonna get rolled back like 4 or 5 weeks, I go, I just gotta deal with this.
Yo, you gotta get out.
Because you know, before you graduate, you gotta take that last PT test. It's like a mile and a half. And I just remember I booked it the first like 400 or 500 yards. And I was so far ahead of everybody. And all they're trying to do is get as far as I could so I could limp the rest of the way. I sprinted like Usain Bolt to start a mile and a half run and just went, okay. And I could feel my toe just, when I got done with the run, I took off my shoes. It looked like somebody shot both of my feet.
Wow.
Because the blood was soaked. And I had to peel them off, right? And I'm in the shower. I go, dude, you got to go to medical. I said, you must be out your mind. I'm not about to get rolled back a week before graduation.
Yep.
So we graduated, and then I went to medical the day after we graduated, and I just remember they clipped them out because they numbed them up, and then they stuck these big toothpicks with acid, and they stuck them down my toes to kill the nerves so they can't ever grow back. I've never had an issue since.
Oh, wow.
I remember just sitting in the bunk. This is before the internet,
Yep.
before cell phones. When I say sit there for 3 days with nothing to do.
Nothing going on.
I graduated, but just my feet were up, and they had to bring me meals. I couldn't even walk.
Did you guys do battle stations?
Battle
For your
stations.
pizza? So our battle stations was where it was an overnight thing. So I started it from midnight until
No,
8 a.m.
we didn't do that.
So that's what they had us doing. So I was doing that with a broken hand. It was shooting drills. It was
The Navy had shooting drills?
Yeah.
We didn't have shooting drills when I was in boot
Oh,
camp. When were
yeah,
you in
so
boot
we
camp?
were-
What year?
2000.
Yeah, no, I was like 8 years ahead of you.
Oh, okay. So we were shooting. So I broke this part of my hand, my right pinky, and this back. So my trigger finger was still working. We're doing shooting drills. We had to swim 500 meters, full uniform gear, as a man overboard situation. You know, if the ship gets hit or anything, and swimming and boots and everything else, and it's just like you just zone out. The military really did teach me that like I can really lock in and get whatever I need to get accomplished. That's one thing I did learn about myself.
We're also young.
Yeah.
That's why the military doesn't recruit guys in their 30s.
Because
You start to really be like, hey, man, I'm hurt.
Right.
you anything before for girls, it's anything before 23. For guys, anything before 25.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can get through anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why they recruit you guys. They can kind of brainwash you.
Yeah.
You know
well,
what I mean?
that's the whole. I realized that's what boot camp was. Because 3 weeks in, I went in the bathroom and I was crying, and I was like, man, what did I do? And I was like, I can't get out now. Like, I'm not crazy or anything. They'll give people mental discharges, but I knew guys that had nothing wrong mentally, but they would make you think that they just went insane just so they
Just
could
to
go
get
home.
out?
Just to get out, and then, people just didn't want to be there by any means. And I was like, nah, I got to see this through. So I became a division leader. Then I was like, wait a minute, they're trying to break you down and build you back up. So I know the game, I get it. Let me give him what he's asking for. Let me still be top 5 in anything that we're doing, and then I'm gonna be all right.
Did you have to go through the gas chamber?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
I was the 3rd person left in there.
So what do you mean? We did it.
Like
we
they
had
put the
gas-
whole
we had
division
mask
in there.
on.
Put the mask
Right,
on.
and you lift it
Take
up.
it off.
Yeah.
I was the 3rd. I was the last. I was last of the 3 to stay in there. No lie.
Oh, it was a competition?
Yeah.
Oh, it
They would
wasn't like that.
after
we went
they would
through-
let you go out. Like people, if you couldn't stand it, how long you could, and then there are others that was like you could stay in there however long you wanted to.
Oh, see, that's the thing. If you knew there's no
Snot running
but see, look at it. You're in the
scenes.
business now. You're in the music business.
Yeah.
It's money driven, man.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no bonuses staying in there longer. Now in the business you're in now, you'd be like, I can leave.
Yeah.
We did it different. When we went to the gas chamber, you lined up, everybody took their mask off at the same time, and then they went down the line asking you a simple question. So literally it'd be like 2 + 2. You just gotta be like 4, right? If somebody got stuck, you hear other people yelling the answer to him, right?
Yeah.
But I remember my question was, what is Fred Flintstone's wife's name? I'll never forget as long as I live. I was like, Wilma! Wilma! But then when everybody answered the questions, we all left together.
Yeah.
Like you had to get in line. But
Was in a row.
if the door is here and you're here, you're in there a little longer than everybody else, and everybody's trying to just get out. And they're like, no, single file, don't break ranks. And you're just like, hurry the fuck. And then there was a big drain, and we all stayed over because we just had snot and
running
everything
out.
coming out. So we all were
Yeah.
just over this draining ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you took me back with those boot camp. I can't believe you just like stayed in.
Well, because everybody had to be in there for a certain time. Once you hit that certain time, then they started having the folks come out. Or if you fell out, didn't make that time, then you'd have to do it again.
Oh fuck that.
So I'm like, nah. I'm gonna show y'all I'm the best. Like I was still very competitive in everything that we were doing. I wasn't the fastest guy, I wasn't the strongest, but everything we were doing, I was like, nah. Even swimming, we had to, when you first jump in, you're jumping in with your uniform. Our first swim call, that's how they're seeing who can float.
Right.
People think in the Navy you got to be able to swim. No, you just have to learn how to float.
Yeah.
So learning how to float, I kept getting kicked, and they were like, "Yo, if your head dips twice underwater, we taking you out." And they had the little kiddie pool over here that I called. And I'll never forget, it was this guy. His name was Jimmy. He was from the Midwest somewhere.
White dude or black dude?
Is Native American.
Oh, Native American.
Okay. Because today people take shit the wrong way. But Jimmy, Jimmy was a nice guy. We, you kind of get cool with certain people, but Jimmy couldn't swim. And I'm like, Jimmy, just don't panic. I'm talking to him like, Jimmy, don't panic, because I can always swim very well. Like, Jimmy, don't panic, don't panic. Jimmy kicked me once on my leg. I said, all right, cool. Second time he kicked me in my groin, and I said, oh shit. I went under to swallow water, spit it out. They're like, Hamilton, you good? Yes, sir. I'm good. I'm good, petty officer. I'm so, Jimmy, you gotta relax. Jimmy didn't relax. I pulled Jimmy under.
Yeah, you pulled him under?
I said, petty officer, you need to get up. I'm sorry, Jimmy, if you remember. I pulled him under. They had to take him out, put him to the kiddie pool.
Now, when I was in, none of the black guys could swim. When we got in the pool, it was like all the black guys went to Remedial. I just never forget. It was all the black guys, and I'm not lying. There was one white guy that couldn't swim. All of a sudden, all the black guys and one white guy went to a remedial pool, but there was one black guy that could swim. Yeah. And I was like, dude, what is going on here? Why do we have one of each? We have one black guy that can't swim, one white guy that can't. Yeah. And I remember my bunkmate, like you said, it's funny how in boot camp, you're with the same people for like 8 weeks, and you get to know them pretty well. My bunkmate was named Copera Washington. He's from South Carolina, and he couldn't swim. He taught me how to make the bed, fold the clothes. Like, he just was getting shit faster than I was. He couldn't swim, and I just remember he could do everything right, but he's always teaching me how to make the bunks right and everything. And then all of a sudden, swimming came, and he couldn't swim. I'm like, oh my God, there's something Copera can't do. And all of a sudden, I had like 5, 6 black dudes around my bunk, and he was like, you see Owen today? He swim good. He swim good. So his brother like, dang, you swim good. They were so impressed with my swimming. And then you know how at the end of boot camp, you get your inspections, right? How your bed's made and clothes are folded. I'll just never forget. Them corners. Copera failed. Wow. Making his bed. He didn't get rolled back. He got a chance to do it again.
Did they like rip the bed up?
And flipped it, everything. Yeah. And I just remember everyone that passed went in this room. It was a room where it was a lounge. We used it to get in trouble. They would make the walls sweat. When you really get in trouble, he put on Thunder by AC/DC, our company commander, and we'd be in there just running in place and pushing them sit-ups. He goes, I want these walls sweating. And I was in Orlando in July. It was hot. So then walls start sweating, and I don't know how long it took, but I just remember
how many of y'all was in that room, you think?
I know we started with 80, and I'm sure we graduated.
To make the walls, no, I'm saying to make the walls sweat when you went in that room.
All of us would be in there.
All of us.
Yeah.
I was in there with 4 people.
Making the walls sweat?
We had the worst RDC, which is our recruit division commander. It was a Garza, it was a short Mexican guy. I swear to God, if I see him today, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him. Straight asshole. But you know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of, what was the guy? It wasn't Full Metal Jacket. What was the
main guy in Full Metal Jacket?
The real mean.
Yeah. You know that guy was really in the military. They used,
was he?
They were using him as a resource, almost like behind the scenes. He was so good. They just used him in the movie. Like, dude.
I had a guy like that. Because I was so we had 4 division leaders. We had
You got the RCPO.
Yep.
Recruit Chief Petty Officer.
The RPOC.
Then you got the starboard and...
I was starboard watch section leader.
Yeah, starboard watch section leader.
Starboard section
leader. Starboard.
So it was just us. It was me, Port, and the Port guy, and then the RPOCs.
Yeah.
Because people kept messing up on uniform inspections and stuff, and they wanted us to make sure that we checked everybody before they came in. So we went in. It was midnight. I never forget. We were supposed to go to sleep. It was midnight. They came, woke us up, went in the room in Great Lakes in Chicago. Yes, it's Chicago in August, but
That's hot.
it's Chicago in the middle of the night as well. So
Yeah.
it took a minute. And he was like, we're not leaving until it starts raining inside of here. And I said, this
For
dude,
you?
it's crazy, 4 of us. It was probably maybe a room, maybe this size, ceiling a little lower. And he said, and I was like, I don't understand what that means. Until I see a drip of condensation coming from that ceiling, we're not leaving. We were in there for 6-7 hours.
Just running in place.
8 counts, bodybuilders, push-ups, jumping jacks, whole uniforms, completely soaked.
It only took us like 5 minutes. With 80
And,
guys.
and it comes down, and then we couldn't shower. He makes us go in our rack. So now I'm in my rack, completely soaked, up at Reveille in an hour, going through the whole day.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
But I see exactly, like, I get it. It's like he's trying to break everybody down mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So, the guy who kept messing up during inspection all the time, the next night we beat his ass. It's
Oh, you guys are really
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I must have
Yeah.
got lucky. We argued over like Sundays for like 4 hours. That was the only time we were at our own vices. Like we were stuck together and we could listen to the radio. So for 4 hours on Sunday, we got a taste of the world because we were in Orlando and the black guys always wanted a hip hop station.
Yeah.
We're trying to find it. White dudes wanted a country station.
Right.
So we had to compromise.
Yeah.
And black guys didn't know what an hour was. like you get an hour of hip hop.
Yeah.
And them rednecks was like, yo, man, it's
Like,
our turn.
I need to hear that Garth Brooks, that
Yeah.
Travis Tritt.
And then we had like 6-7 Mexicans that there was a Spanish station. So everyone got their fix. That's where the fighting almost happened. We got along pretty good other than when it was Sunday, we were on devices. The brothers did not, and the brothers always went first.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to let go of that music, man. I was like,
Yeah.
and I was cool with everything. The Spanish shit, I didn't speak Spanish. So I was like, I can do without that. But
Right.
I kind of listen to everything.
Yeah.
But them brothers was like, they was hot. It was
was
like,
like-
dude, it's 11. No, one more song, man. It's 11. 11:05.
Yeah.
Them rednecks.
It's wild because in boot camp, that's when you realize that like there are people from different worlds, but we're in the same country. Like I met white kids who was like, I've never seen a black person before except on TV. And like, dude would come up to me like, touching me, and I'm like, bruh, get the fuck away from me.
Well, you know
He'd
what
be like,
it is?
no, I've never seen black people before.
But it's
except
so
on TV.
innocent at that age, and you're all making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
You're all basically doing the same job. So nobody's better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason Bill Gates' kids aren't enlisted in the Navy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But like I found interesting, like I was talking about my bunkmate. He got pictures mailed and he was on a tractor. And I was like, oh, you on vacation or something? He's like, no, that's my house. I go, black people don't live on farms. I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Black people live in the city.
Yeah.
Black people don't live on farms. He goes, what are you talking about? He grabbed this brother from Mississippi, this
In
brother
the
from
South,
Georgia,
yeah.
this brother from Alabama. Like, Gary, what'd you just say? I said, black guys don't live on farms. And they gave me the do the right thing. They go, oh, this dude. They all grow on farms. I was like, yo, mind blown. Like,
Yep.
you guys bale hay and all that. They knew all this. I was like, dude, I just was like, my world is so, at 18 years old, I realized how shallow I was. I go, oh my God, I am really living in a bubble that I never realized this type of stuff.
Yep.
I remember the first time one black guy liked Guns N' Roses. I was shocked. He knew all the words.
Favorite band. I know.
Oh, really? Yo. Guns N' Roses came on, and I saw him because we'd have to clean on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I saw this one brother in the corner. He was just jamming out the one of the Guns N' Roses songs,
Yeah.
Welcome to the Jungle or something. Just sweet. Oh, it was Sweet Child of Mine. He was just sitting there. I was like, wait a minute. That guy knows all the words? I was just so dumbfounded. I've seen the white guys that side with black culture or hip-hop
Right.
culture. I've seen that.
And it's more prevalent today, but back
Yeah.
then,
But there was one
Yeah.
white guy in my company who hung out exclusively with the black guys because, you know, it's cliques.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the Filipinos are together
Yep.
and the Latinos together and the white guy. It's cliques. And I get it now. It's just who you're comfortable with. You see somebody you have a common, I don't know, you just, something in common with
interest.
somebody.
Everybody's got the same common interest. and
Yeah.
you click
So
it.
you're obviously going to go to the black guys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're black, you go to black guys. You're white guys, go to white guys. It's just,
Like I
natural.
clicked up with all the hood dudes. I didn't grow up in the hood, but I grew up hood adjacent. Like, so
Yeah.
I was like, I was cool with all these cats. But then I could go kick it with the other white guys from over here too, just because, I was able to have a little bit of, all of those experiences, which is very interesting.
well, I think it helps in life.
Yeah.
Like, it's helped me navigate through life better just because I was like, oh, you really don't judge people because of their color. I think if you get through a military experience, you see it, but you don't judge them because of it. Because I've had friends with tats everywhere on their body, and I've hung out with the black guys that are like Carlton from Fresh Prince.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're literally, the military has every brand. Especially, was you ever on an aircraft carrier?
Nah, I didn't do a carrier. I was only on one ship. Because we were on when Enduring Freedom started, when the towers went down. So I was on the USS Bruins, which was a DD destroyer. So we did a lot of NATO ops. We did a lot of with our Desron squadron. So it would be a lot of the destroyer squadrons with the cruisers and stuff, going out doing a lot of. We didn't do drug ops too much, but I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I was stationed in Mayport.
So you weren't in boot camp. You was in when 9/11 happened?
I joined, when I went to boot camp, the only thing that happened prior to that was the USS Cole bombing, like 6 months prior.
Yeah.
7 months into 99. So then there was a couple ports over in the Med that we couldn't pull into. But outside of that, everything was peaceful. I mean, my first port that I ever went to was St. Martin. Changed my life.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Man.
You know, you pull in.
you can't even get the words out, Kenny. Like,
man.
God.
Because we pulled in, every bar you go to, 3 for 1 for all the sailors, just show your ID. Then here, women everywhere and partying, going to get a fifth of Hennessy for $20.
Yeah.
I would go to McDonald's like I was back in college, get a Coke and pour out half of the Coke and fill it up with Hennessy. I'm walking around with a McDonald's cup full of just lit the whole time. And then we find, a pool hall and it's just numb girls. And all the boys are like, yo, let's go in there. All right, we go in and it's like, it's Chris Tucker and Rush Hour.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay. Let me tell you the worst Navy story, the best one. So I'm in Orlando, graduate boot camp. I get in the honor guard. So, I was doing the rifles and parades in DC. So you got to wait. They got this thing, you get out of boot camp, and in honor guard, they have training platoon. And you get to DC, and you're training for 8 weeks to get in the honor guard. And that dropout rate is way higher than boot camp, right?
Right.
Because it's hard. You do anything wrong, you're out. I'm talking about once you're off, the weekends. We were off on the weekends. Guys are getting in trouble. And I'm talking about anything little. You're gone because you're going to be on the White House lawn and stuff. They're doing background checks and shit. So so I'm in Orlando. We had to wait because they're all like, if 50 guys got in training platoon, we had to wait. We had to get there together. So some guys have to wait like 2 months. I had to wait like 4 weeks and things. Plus I had the ingrown toenails getting taken. I was stuck anyways. But when I finally got healthy, I was able to leave and go out in Orlando. They tell you where not to go. They go, don't go to Orange Blossom Trail. That's where all the hookers are. And I was like this. You just told all these 18-year-old guys that have been locked up for 2 months where the call girls are? That was stupid.
Right.
I just remember like 4 or 5 guys and went to an Asian massage parlor. I had never been. I didn't know what it was. I thought we were getting massages.
Yeah.
I leave. We in the car, headed back we end up getting like a Red Roof Inn, the 5 of us together. 5 guys all pitched in $20 or something. And they're all talking about the massage. And I go, what? I literally just got a massage and rolled. And they're all talking, man, it's good to this. And I'm going, hold on. We gotta go back.
Wait, why ain't nobody tell me what the code word was? The one, the alias?
Everybody, yo, just telling these wild stories. And they're going, I just got my shoulders rubbed, bro.
Right.
I go, now it makes sense. She kept asking, it's okay. It's okay. I was like, it's fine.
Right.
I didn't realize she was trying to ask me, is it okay?
Right.
I was sitting there going, it's good. Yeah, I'm good. You're doing a great job, man.
Right.
Anything else? Yeah, my hamstring.
Oh,
hamstring.
my God.
I remember just sitting there going, hold up. That's where we was at? And I had no clue.
Oh,
none.
Stayed out of trouble.
Right. I've been so mad at the place would have got busted. I'm like 18
so
like this.
funny.
Really? I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm the only one not being arrested.
How many people do you know that when you say, oh, you're in the Navy, they're like, oh, you're a SEAL?
Here's the crazy about the SEALs. I was stationed at NAB Coronado.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was master at arms.
Okay.
I was a cop. And with everything going on in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Navy always had an easy way to help the police force, I should say.
Yeah.
If one of them Navy SEALs go nuts, you can't stop them. They're trained
Not
killers,
at all.
right?
Not at all.
And you don't see it coming. A lot of Navy SEAls are small, tiny, and
That's the other misconception.
like they're big.
People think that they're
no,
big. And I'm like, no.
they're tiny.
I know a 5'7" dude that will like murder everybody in this building.
Yeah.
Like,
But we always had one on every shift. Like we worked 12-hour shifts. So you work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We always had a active Navy SEAL on every ship, temporarily assigned for 6 months to the police force. And the reason was they had a rapport with all the Navy SEAL guys that are on the base. So if any of them did go left or get too drunk or anything, we had somebody that could handle it. And I always thought that is what police forces should do in every city.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make sure you got guys on every shift.
Yeah, Peterson. He was a CT.
You had a
CT
one Navy SEAL on the ship?
Yeah, a CT.
How many people were on your ship?
360.
That was small. Was there women on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There wasn't like
Yeah,
when I first came in, they were on the what do you call it? Tenders.
Oh, tenders, yeah.
Sub-tenders.
They had I think they just started maybe a couple years before, because it was something that it was starting to get around everywhere.
Yeah, because women were allowed on combat ships for the longest. And I know everybody wants equal rights and all that stuff, and we're definitely in a day and age now, but looking back, if I was a woman, I would have told all those women fighting to get on ships, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That is not the best way to live.
Yeah.
I would much rather be on shore duty. There's a reason you're in the Navy. People, they want shore duty because you're living a normal life.
No.
You don't want to live on a bunk. I want to go home to an apartment or a townhouse.
You know, it's so crazy. Things I remember seeing one girl, we were going to the range just to do our gun quals. And she's at the range. Her hands and wrists are so loose. Pulling the trigger, pow. And I'm like, I'm gonna go down here.
She gonna kill somebody.
Somebody's gonna, y'all don't see this? Y'all don't see what's going on? And then they're like, okay, let's put this down. Let's go with the shotgun. No! Like, she can't shoot a Beretta. Why are we gonna give her a 12 gauge?
Right.
Like, what do y'all think's gonna happen? I was like, nah, that's not working.
We need
like, no
she needs
offense,
a taser,
but like,
and that's
yeah. But no, we had a lot of females. It was a lot of It brought a lot of, guys like to fight over women.
Oh, it's a floating high school.
And oh my God.
Navy ships are floating high schools.
It literally, because our first deployment, well, when we really deployed out, because when September 11th happened, we were supposed to go out that day. So we were already going, but it wasn't like our deployment. But when we got ready for our deployment, I'm seeing all these dudes with their wives and kids crying on the pier, all this stuff. I mean, we get on the ship. I can still see Mayport right here.
Yeah.
And then he got his girlfriend right next to him on the ship. And I'm just like, yo, y'all wild.
Yo. They were
wild.
High schools, man. I mean, it's like, this is just like high school.
It was a lot. I had a lot of, so my son's here, so he's going to hear this for the first time. But I have an other than honorable discharge.
Oh, do you?
With 3 months left on my contract, I failed a drug test.
Weed?
Yep. And the funny thing was,
get out.
Get out.
You cannot be on my podcast.
The funny thing was, I had 5.0 evaluations the whole time, and I was referred and recommended for an OCE program to go officer to enlisted. But I knew I wanted to work in music. I realized I wanted to work in music when I got in the Navy. I went to college to be a sports agent. Jerry Maguire changed my life.
Yeah,
didn't know that world existed.
You have to stop watching TV and commercials.
Right.
Like, this movie changed my life.
Right.
And then I saw a Navy commercial, changed my life.
Yeah.
Good thing we're watching porn.
Yeah, right. I never was a porn guy, but for some reason, I got a lot of inspiration because, my father worked a lot, so we never have like the closest relationship, but a lot of my inspiration came from me seeing stuff. I realized I wanted to work in music because of the movie Brown Sugar. When the movie Brown Sugar came out, I was like, what is this? I never knew about it. So then I started researching what an A&R is, what this is, what a manager is, and this. Because all I knew was Russell, Puff, the big heads, and the artists. I had no clue anything behind the scenes. I went to high school with Akon's brother, Boo, who now manages Kanye West. And I've known Boo since I was 14. I'm on the ship in our berthing lounge. We watching BET Rap City. The Locked Up video comes on, and I'm like, yo, that's my man Boo. They were like, man, shut up, Hamilton. You don't know him.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, we went to school together. And Swiss Beats as well. Swiss was a junior when I was a freshman at Stone Mountain High School.
For real?
Yeah. So, and then I'm like, okay, so then I started researching it. But yeah, I did get my inspiration, a lot of my inspiration, and a lot of my business acumen, some food recipes from movies. I learned how to make my spaghetti sauce from The Godfather. When not Costanza, when Michael was or Sonny was in the kitchen talking to him, he's making the sauce and he's showing Michael how to put the sauce in there and the meatballs and everything. Yeah, I'll do the same thing now.
Really?
Goodfellas, I learned how to really thin my garlic and put it in the oil so it kind of like purifies.
Huh. I learned how to talk to black girls.
Right.
That movie. Better unlock that door.
Yeah. But going back, yeah, I got an other than honorable discharge. 3 months left. And the funny thing was there were so many because I was doing an officer's job as well. I was assistant training officer in port. So in port, I'm in the officers' country a lot. All the enlisted folks like, man, you over there trying to get them pink toes and this and this and this. I'm like, I didn't realize that was a bad term until
Did you see my face?
I was like, what? So, oh yeah, I did. I did her. She loves me, Lieutenant JG. They know. But yeah, it was a lot of people that were waiting for me to fall. That one mistake. I even got qualified Master at Arms, so I would know when all the tests were.
The drug test.
Because I never stopped. I never stopped. So I'm in Atlanta. My one of my best friends, Jason, it was his birthday. I'm driving back because Atlanta to Jacksonville is a 4-hour drive. I used to do it a lot. And I was like, I'm not gonna miss Jason's birthday. I drove up, went to birthday. I mean, we had all the drove, the perp, everything. And that was the day before, we used to stay in the system 30 days. So I'm driving back and my mentor who was on the ship, he was an OS1. And Swan, I still talk to him to this day. He called me. He said, Hamilton, they about to do a surprise command sweep. I said, no, we're not. We already did all of them for the year. He's like, I'm telling you, I just had duty. I was Master at Arms. I just got the email coming through from the XO that they want to do a sweep. And I'm like, damn, all right. I got my stuff. Somebody had gotten me, I forgot who it was, but I had this little snot-looking substance. It was a guy who was he was an IT. His brother played in the NBA. He was a bench player. It wasn't nobody like really known. And he had got me this jar of snot stuff. I take 2 big tablespoons. I'm talking about it looked like a bunch of snot. No taste. I took 2 tablespoons. I drank 2 glasses of warm water, diluted my whole system, worked every time. Because I stopped taking niacin because they were testing for niacin. And that's what back in the day you used to try to pop.
Man, I just didn't do weed. You were going to great lengths to smoke weed.
Because then I would put vinegar and orange juice and I would chug that and then chase it with water because the vinegar burns all the drugs out of your system. So I get home, my stuff's gone. I'm like, where's my stuff? I'm tripping. Then I realized my camcorder's gone. This is gone. And I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody robbed me. I go to my roommate. I was like, hey. And I knew who it was. It was his girlfriend's brother. Later tells me he went in there to use my stuff because he had a drug test for a job with UPS. So he took my stuff. I couldn't find nobody to have anything else. I just got back to Jacksonville 7 a.m. I got to be on base at 8. So I'm like, it was one of those things where I was like, all right, well, this is how this is how it's supposed to go. I waited to the end of the day, still was trying. Everybody who I knew smoked, because I was bringing weed and pills and ecstasy and stuff from Atlanta, and I was giving it to them. The white dudes, I was bringing white girl stuff, you know what I'm saying? All of that for them. And I was also selling like velour suits and Air Force Ones out my truck. I was that guy.
That dude.
I would drive
There's one
Atlanta.
on every base.
I would get all the product and everything and bring it down. And I went and just did the test. 2 weeks later, OS2 Hamilton, Master at Arms office. I already knew what that was. And I got in there, and Mac loved me. I got in, he said, what in the hell were you smoking? I ain't never seen the THC level this high. I said, man, it was some good shit. It was that perp. And we call it dro. He was like, man, this is about to go down bad, right? I said, I mean, because, captain's master's up to the captain.
Yeah.
We had just had a new captain that was in 3 months. The captain before, Captain Robinson, that's my guy. We're Facebook friends to this day. Captain Robinson always had my back, looked out for me. This new captain, he had the 2 officers that really were jealous of me and hated me. Just, we watching The Godfather in my lieutenant's stateroom. I'm an enlisted guy in the stateroom.
Yeah.
Oh, they hated that. Then other officers in there like, Hamilton got it because I knew my job. And I was one of the top OSs on our boat. So you couldn't check me on anything because I had my SWAT, my service warfare, all my qualifications. I made E5 in a year and 9 months. I was 5.0, early promote on every evaluation. They had nothing to grill me on. Ended up going to captain's mass, getting 45 days. They busted me down to OS3 when they put me out. I got 45 days restricted, like limited duty, shaved everything. I was out in 4 days. You know why I was out in 4 days?
Why?
Because I brought ecstasy and other drugs to all the white guys who worked in the ship's office, and they were the homies, and they were like, "Nah, bro, we got you." They sent my paperwork through, pushed that thing through. I was off because I was supposed to be locked down on restriction for 45 days.
I thought you meant you was out the Navy in 4 days.
No, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Restriction.
I was processed.
Oh, you
they
was
had me on
processed completely
restriction.
out the Navy
They had me
before
45 days restriction. Then they were gonna process me out. I'm like, I'm not finna stay here for a month and a half.
Yeah.
It just then I can leave.
It's interesting because your story is like, now that I got you on, I knew I was gonna be a comedian.
Yeah.
So, the Navy kind of scares you, and I think most military, they scare you to get out. They'll be like, there's no jobs out there for you. You'll be better off staying
Oh
in.
my God.
They really scare you. Like, there's nothing out there for you. They don't tell you there's a ton out there.
Yeah.
Once I realized, I'm going to do stand-up, because I started doing stand-up when I was in the Navy, and I was on BET and active duty at the same time.
I love that.
I was waving cars on the base and on Comic View.
Oh, I love that.
Because I took
love
a week's
watching Comic
leave
View.
and filmed. They filmed the whole season in a week.
Wow.
I came back down, and I knew I was getting out. I was waving cars on the base, and when I realized that, I was like, oh, I really stopped giving a shit. Like, I was like, I don't care, like you just said, other than honorable.
Yeah.
Even though I got out honorable discharge, I was like, I really didn't care, because I've never been at a comedy club, theater, movie, or TV show, and they asked me for my military record.
Exactly.
It's never happened.
Right.
That's when I stopped giving a shit. I go, oh, once I start driving to LA from San Diego and seeing other stand-ups, like, I got it. I can hang with these guys. I know what this is about. This is what I want to do. I completely stopped giving a shit. I mean, talking about coming in late.
Yeah. Because as you realize, like, when I was in it, I was like, I really do want to work in music. And I was like, I read Kevin Lauser just wrote a book called Making It Happen. And I read his story, and I'm like, because backing up before, I had a radio show. I went to a summer school. I got arrested when I was 16. And my dad was like, you're not going to stay in Atlanta this summer because y'all just doing stupid shit. I'm going to send you to this school that I wanted to go to, but I never got a chance to go. And I had to apply, get teacher recommendations, and I got accepted. It's called Phillips Academy. It's in Andover, Massachusetts. All the Kennedys went there. All the Bushes went there. It's the #1 preparatory school in the country. Still is to this day, #1. I went there for a summer school session, changed my life. And I was like, oh shit, I'm really smart. I didn't realize how smart I was. I was the Zach Morris, Will Smith of my school. I I was cool with all the teachers. I had a 9th grader doing all my homework by the time I was a senior. But, we were, my best friend was a star basketball player. I was the student assistant coach. Like, I was that guy in high school. I was Mr. Pop. My whole crew, we were called the Goodfellas. I named this. And our whole crew was just the cool guys. We were cool with the hood guys. We were cool with, we had all the cheerleaders and all the cool parties. So when I got out, I was still in Jacksonville, and I had been around a gospel singer named Demetrius. And that was the first time I ever went into a studio. And I was like, I really love seeing nothing become this on a CD and like, oh, snap. And then I started, I would have different ideas. I'd be like, yo, why don't you try singing it this way or that way? And
so you're in the Navy while this is happening? You're just going to this studio in Jacksonville?
Yep. And because he happened to be my barber, but then he also said he did music. So I just asked him, like, can I go into the studio someday? But with me being able, I had already been talking on the microphone a little bit. Then in college that one year, I had a radio show. It was a private university, so I couldn't play everything, but I would play like R. Kelly. I know we can't play R. Kelly anymore. I was playing a lot of R. Kelly. I was TP2, this is before TP2, but like whatever that one album was, like, playing just straight R&B stuff. And I was like, all right, I got to get into business. So as soon as I got out, first thing I did, I went and started a business, Knowledge Records, because my nickname used to be Knowledge. And I started my record label, and I was like, yeah, I'm a CEO now.
Wait, hold on, let me slow down. So you're in the Navy.
Yep.
You get other than honorable. You get out. You start your own record label.
Yeah.
The day you get out of the Navy, right?
About a week later, yeah.
A week later, you're starting a label? Where you get the capital to start the label?
I just had a little bit of money, and I went to the accountant, and she was like, oh, I can file this, to get my account. It was $850. And I filed the Articles of Incorporation to get the company name.
This is in Jacksonville?
Yeah, it was in Jacksonville. And then February of 04 is when I moved, because I got out December of 03. And then February of 04 is when I moved back to Atlanta.
How were you making any money, like put food on the table at that point?
Telemarketing. I was
On
good.
the side, just
Yeah.
on the phone, talking to people?
I could sell an old lady magazine subscriptions for Fish and Stream and that empty water bottle and tell her why it's the best thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was doing then. And, you know, moved back to Atlanta. I started working in security, nightclub security, because I realized that all the hot clubs is where all the artists and all the, you know, there was this club called Vision back in the day. And Vision was, you know, this one security company. And I was like, let me, you know, try to see if I can get this job here. And they told me I was too small because back then I was 210. I didn't gain any weight until I got out. And, you know, but I have a martial arts background. And then being, you know, understanding weaponry and things of that nature. So I was like, but I have other skills that could help. And I showcased those skills when they tried to have some rinky-dink guy come in and show us how to subdue somebody with a bottle in the club. And I was like, nah, that's not right. You should actually do it this way. And then Sam Mumphrey, I love Sam. And Sam hired me for Big Boy Security. So I'm in there. This is BMF time. This is when Meech and all of them are running Atlanta, billboards everywhere. And they're in, and I just tried to get an internship at the radio stations. V103, I had to be in college, so I wasn't. Hot 107.9 never called me back, ever. I called. Q100, white folks, yeah, come on in Monday. Can you be here Monday at 10? I'll be there. And I started interning at Q. And then 6 months after that, I was working at T-Mobile during the day. I got a day job, working at T-Mobile, interning at a radio station at night, ended up meeting Jermaine Dupri, because Jermaine was cool with Jeff Miles, whose radio show that I was on. And that's how Scooter Braun and I met, because Scooter was working for Jermaine at the time. So they all came up to the station, and me and Scoot started getting cool, just hanging out, because he was still throwing parties, because he had dropped out of Emory. And then he started working in the business, but he stayed in Atlanta, and he was known as, like, the White Puffy. Like, he was throwing parties for Emory and Georgia Tech kids that were ragers, but have Ludacris perform, or Jazzy Faye, or Lil Jon. And I was just partying with him, hanging out. And I was like, yo, I want to learn the management side. I was like, I realized this is where I'm going to, you know, this is where I like working with people. I can sell anything. And I realized, like, you know, being a manager in the music game, it's a reason why, like, your Jay-Z's and some of these people get very successful in music. And I was having a conversation about this, like, people that have sold drugs or sold any type of products and understand supply and demand and, you know, profit margins, like, people don't realize it, but a lot of hood dudes are very, very intelligent in business.
I've said this numerous times. I said the only difference between a guy running a Fortune 500 company and a drug kingpin is the environment.
Yep.
Because there's only so many people that have that it factor.
Yeah.
People want to listen and follow and believe what they're saying. And those are the CEOs of these Fortune and these drug kingpins.
Yeah.
They're just different worlds, but they got people under them. They're relegating jobs.
Absolutely.
They're handling a ton of money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like
they know who they can keep close to them, who they can trust with this, who has to be out here in the street. And
I'd have been dead a long time.
Yeah.
Drug kingpin. I've been burned so many times by my friends. I'm like this. What?
And it's so wild though. So because when you think back into the Navy and you're like, man, that experience really taught me a lot. But I equate it to the business now, because now I'm interning at Q. I was supposed to do 3 events a week. I was doing 8. I was sleeping in my car sometimes. I would drive home to my little roach-infested apartment. I had an apartment about the same size as this studio wall right here. That was in Buckhead. I was in Buckhead, though. It was $500 a month.
But the difference is, like, at that point in your life, you're doing something you saw the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And you're in the line of work you want to be in.
Absolutely.
So it didn't feel like work, probably.
Nah, it didn't.
You look
it was
forward
fun.
to those 8 events.
Open a store at T-Mobile, that was a lot. But
yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
that wasn't your passion, though.
Yeah.
Because I remember having this conversation, and you would appreciate this. I was working nights. I was in the ship. I was on a ship. We were in the middle of the ocean. I was on the USS Boxer. And we were at Mid-Rats, which Mid-Rats is the meal in the middle of the night, the 2 a.m. leftovers.
Yeah.
And it was like 5 of us sitting at the table, and somebody said, hey, man, what would you do if you had $1 million? If you won it or got it, right? And I remember somebody goes, man, I'd quit the Navy and tell them to kiss my ass, or I'd buy a cabin in, West Virginia and nobody ever see me again. And the conversation came to me, and I went, I'm gonna make $1 million. And they looked at me and they go, what? I said, no, I'm gonna be a comedian. I'm gonna make $1 million.
Yeah.
And in the Navy, and I think most people, they think $1 million, your problems are over, which
Right.
is so far from the truth.
And then you realize, like,
the IRS and so much other shit. And it's a lot of money, but it's not what you think.
Yeah, $10 million is not gonna last you a lifetime.
Yeah, trust. But I remember there was one guy, his name was Wiki. I remember his name on his dungarees, Wittke. And he goes, I can see that. You're funny, Owen. He literally just said, I can see that. You're funny, Owen.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other guys was like, man, come on. But I was like, dude, I'm going to be a stand-up.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it would ever happen, but I remember thinking, no, that's doable.
Mm-hmm.
I should make $1 million. And we don't put a time frame on it. Like, is that $1 million over 2 years? Is that $1 million in one show? You're just like, no, I'm making $1 million.
You know how many people, and I had 2 of my friends, one just went out on a deployment. They've been in 20 years now. They're senior chiefs and some of my guys, but I was like, damn, y'all lasted this long? Like, I just knew y'all was going to be out a minute ago, but they still in.
But those guys you went to boot camp with, when you knew that, like you said, while in the St. Martin,
you're
like, oh, you're in charge of people?
Yeah.
Oh, we're fucked. That's what I be thinking.
You know, I got friends that are like, damn, they're Master Chiefs now. And I'm like,
you're running the ship?
You know, but when he gets off, he put them goals back in, back in the street.
Or how about this? After my shows, I'll have a guy that's like a lieutenant or a senior chief or something. And they'll be looking at me with gaga eyes, like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. And I was thinking, oh my God, if I would see you in uniform, I would still be a little intimidated. Because you go back to that E2, E3 days that I was in. I was like, why are you acting like you're a fan of mine?
Even now, it's like, you know, even with those guys are like, man, Hamilton, man, they still call me Hamilton. They was like, Hamilton, man, we always knew, like, you was going to be the one. Like, you was just different. I was shopping at Banana Republic, Kenneth Cole, back when everybody was wearing Jabot jeans and stuff. I had a pair of Jabot jeans, but they was like, nigga, what you doing? Like, are those, I was like, these are Chelsea boots. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just moved a little different, but I would still go to the hood spots and kick it and all that stuff. But they were just like, they would just say, man, we always saw something different in you. We always saw, you know, now we get why you were in charge of this and in charge of that. You were always like the leader. Now, like, look at you running your shit.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it, but like, you know, bunks on the boat. My first tour with Bieber, what, 2009, 10?
Justin Bieber, who's that?
Yeah, I'll get there.
I'm like
but
this.
We got on the tour bus and everybody was like, man, how we supposed to put our, I'm over here like this. Boom, 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 boom. Put it all in my rack. I'm in there.
Yeah.
I know. That's like, yo, where Kenny at? Oh, I'm asleep. Huh? Y'all need, I pulled a curtain from the bunk. Y'all need anything? Y'all good? Okay. No, close it. I'm knocked out, you know? And it's wild. But yeah, I think, you know, the Navy prepared my work ethic. And it showed me, it didn't prepare it. It showed me the work ethic I had inside of me.
Yeah.
So now if I apply that to, like you said, something that you really want, that's really your passion, there's nothing that's going to stop you. Because anything that I did, I always wanted people to understand that I'm going to outwork you.
Yeah. Well, dude, I have no regrets joining the Navy.
Yeah.
Right after high school.
Me either. Yeah.
None. It just helped me.
I wish I had that VA loan right now, though, in the state of California. Shit.
Oh, really? Well, it just, at that age, I'm a teenager and just learning about people and myself, and it helped me realize what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I didn't want to be in the Navy. I knew I didn't want to be a cop, even though I was. I was just like, I don't want to do something else. But I don't regret anything. I made some great relationships.
Yeah.
Learned about myself. I was able to be independent, start paying bills on my own and everything. Yeah. You know?
I just want to see, there's one person, and like you said, they scare you about getting out. When the word started getting around, this one officer who was always an asshole to me, just a prick, he would be like, where else are you gonna go with, you know, with 3 hot meals and your benefits and your everything taken care of? Like,
Chipotle?
You just
What are you talking about?
He's like, you just ruined your life.
He said that?
Yeah. And I said, nah, don't worry about me. I'll be all right. I never will forget. Red-haired dude, Peterson. I've been trying to find him. I found some of the other officers that I was cool with, and we cool on Facebook. And I'll quietly ask, hey, you remember Strike? Because he was our strike officer. And I said, do you remember Lieutenant J.G. Peterson? Where? And him. Anybody got his number? I just want to send him a gift.
There's always those on the base, though.
Yeah.
Every base has those guys that just, they're Debbie Downers, and they make you like, I don't want to be in your presence.
Yeah.
You're always negative.
Always.
Like,
but he would be the one, like, I would be in, you know, the captain or XO would come in to CIC because, you know, OSs, we worked in CIC, which was the dark area.
Yeah.
If you watch, people listen, if you watch any military movie in the Navy, it's the dark room with all the radars. Yeah. That was me. Yeah. We were in there doing all that. But we specialized in undersurface warfare as well. So we were doing a lot of submarine plotting, launching the Hilo, the SH-60 Bravos back then. And so, you know, officer on the watch, he would be in, I would just let him drown himself. Sometimes I would give him half of the information. I never
about
give him,
Peterson?
yeah, I would never give him anything wrong. I would just not give him what I knew the captain
Say
wanted.
shit like I knew him.
Right.
You talking about Peterson?
Yeah.
Redheaded?
Yeah, mother.
Drown that motherfucker, man.
Motherfucker. But yeah, man, that was just wild. But yeah, we got out and moved back to Atlanta, and Scooter and I met, and I was just, I was always with Scooter, and then
This is before Bieber?
yeah, this was 5 years before maybe. And we had one group in Atlanta that they never really came to fruition, never really, broke past that point. But that's who I was working with a lot. And then he found this artist, Asher Roth. So when we moved Asher from Philly to Atlanta, we did a mixtape with the Greenhouse Effect. That was pretty good. And then he had a record called I Love College that started picking up really well.
I was in a movie called College.
Yep.
And I saw people wearing the college hoodies
Like
and
from
sweatshirts. I thought
Animal
it was
House
for
yeah.
the movie.
Oh.
I was like this. Oh, we got merch.
Right.
We got merch. Then that song came out. And I go, shit, this is a song. You're just rehashing Animal House shit.
Yeah. So I was always the person like I didn't work directly with Asher. I wanted to be his road manager. I remember we went to Cracker Barrel, just me and him. Sat down, best pancakes in the world, by the way, Cracker Barrel.
There's people that say that I beg to differ, but they are pretty good.
Right. We sat down and I was like, yo, I want to be a road manager. And he was like, I already, told my two boys that, they're going to be doing that for me. So I was like, all right, cool. So what did I do? I had a DJ network. I was on the air now at Q100 hosting the Saturday Night Mix Show. So I started gaining a name in the city as like the black dude on the white people station. And that's how, if you didn't know my name, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's the dude that's over there at Q100. And between that and what I was doing with Scooter, and then Scooter was like, he sent me this email. He was like, yo, check your email. I just sent you this kid I found. And I opened it up, and it was Justin. He was 12 years old, singing Someday at Christmas as Stevie Wonder.
That was, I think I saw that. That's when they always show in the documentary.
Yeah. We did that.
He's up in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, this kid can sing. He was like, this kid is incredible. Like, I'm trying to find him. He found him. And then moved him down to Atlanta. And, I used to bring Justin to, at this point, I was working at CarMax now during the day. I was married at the time, and then I was working at 95.5 The Beat. So now I'm bringing him around. We were playing basketball. I'm driving around the city when I can. I bring him to the radio station and be like, yo, so this is where artists sit when they do interviews. Is he
like 12 at this point, 13?
14.
He's 14.
Yeah, 14. And I'm showing him where we're doing interviews and stuff like that. And then, I remember we used to have conversations like, man, am I ever going to really get started working? And it's like, yeah, you will. Time's going to come. And we started, Scooter put him in the studio a lot, and we started getting these records together, and he put the plan together. And he called me one day. He was like, we need to find security for Justin. And I was like, I got plenty of guys that can do it. He was like, no, I want you to do it. I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, I want to be a road manager or like, you know what I'm saying? I was person like, at the time, I had just gained like 80 pounds. I'm fat now, sorry, I'm not body shaming nobody, but I was bigger than normal, than what I was used to. And then all I saw on TV was Jonas Brothers. And I love Big Rob is my guy. But I would see white pop stars, big black dudes. White pop stars. Then Robin Big was like one of the biggest things on MTV.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to be typecasted into like, I can't do anything else. And, Scooter broke it down. He was like, nah, that's not it. He was like, one, you're already qualified to do the job. So yes. But two, you're one of the only people I can trust to be in a room when I'm not there. And, early on, nobody knew who Scooter Braun was. He had one deal with SRC that Steve Rifkin had put for Asher, but there were other big managers trying to come and take Justin from him. You know what I'm saying? So we kept our team really tight, and people didn't understand this wasn't just higher positions. It was like, nah, we all been together, like, and we gonna figure this shit out. And then, so I went on the road. So if you watch the Never Say Never documentary, it says, me as in there as security, but I was the one waking him up, putting him in bed, taking his computer away from him because he'd be staying up all night on his computer and stuff. But, from the beginning. So I ended up leaving their company and started my own company. But now I run my own management company, and I have 5 different clients, 3 in the R&B space, one another rapper, singer, and then I have another writer as well. So it's just, about being consistent, man, and putting in the work. But
you with Justin when he was in his wilding days?
Yeah, and then I left like kind of in the middle of that because I was dealing with a lot of it. I got arrested in Austria. In Vienna.
Did?
Yeah, covering up some stuff that he did. I was asleep too, and I'm getting they knocking on my door at 6 a.m. and the hotel manager's like, the police are here, and I was like, Why?
That's it. But listen,
said-
there's like literally 0.5%, not even that, population can understand what it's like to go from nothing to money and fame
Yeah.
at an early age,
Yeah.
where everything's at your disposal. I'm like,
I used to try to tell people because everyone would want to judge him back then, and I was like, "What did you do between 15 and 20? That if it was on camera, people would judge you and chastise everything about you."
Yeah.
Because like I told you, I got arrested for shoplifting at 16. I was doing this and doing that. None of that, he couldn't take a shit without it being on TMZ.
Yeah.
I remember there was one time we were, at One Oak, he was going through this club and it was a video and they were like, "Oh, he peed in the mop bucket." And I was like, "You know how many mop buckets I've peed in?"
Yeah. Right?
You know how many times I've been freaking drunk and I just pissed on somebody's car in the parking lot, but no one had cameras on me? I was like, come on, guys. Like, we've all done stupid stuff.
But the thing about Justin was he was never hurting other people.
No, never.
It was always like I don't even call self-destructing. It was just, he was growing up in front of the camera with a lot of shit at his disposal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing at my disposal like that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
And it's wild because like the people, like we know him and know his heart. He's always been like the sweetest guy. So like what you all are seeing now when he's posting something or his prayer or whatever, he's always had that in him. Yeah. But it was just all this other stuff. Like I have pictures of him when my son was a preemie, and when we pulled him out of the hospital, like I got pictures of Justin just holding him, like just sitting with him. You know what I'm saying? Like always there, always the kindest person. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, asking about him, calling about him and stuff. And he's just the sweetest guy. But yeah, it's funny how life goes.
Well, I'm not gonna name any names, but I remember I was in New York and two NFL football players walked in. And one had a rep of being wild and rude. If you look at the media, and the other one had the rep of being straight-laced and everything else. And it was the complete opposite in person.
Yeah.
The wild one was saying what's up to the cooks, was shaking everybody's hand, was like, "How you doing?" He was charming.
Right.
The one that was supposed to be the guy, cold,
asshole to everybody,
just not want to talk. And I go, "Oh, this is completely different than what I thought." You know what I mean? That's why I never read into the tabloid. When you're in this business, I mean, you know who's cool and who's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you read something about somebody, you're like, what's the whole story though? There's
all
always
the time.
We're getting like the end of it. What really happened here?
Especially today. Today is even worse.
Yeah.
Like today is worse than anything else because now we're in a situation where people aren't allowed to make mistakes anymore. Because you make one mistake and now your whole life
really?
is
I'm going
ruined.
through a divorce. I would have never thought that.
Yeah, and I've been divorced. I've been divorced 10 years.
Yeah, but mine's all over TMZ.
Right.
I'm like this.
I was like, dang, you have 4 bitches over at the crib?
Yeah, right. Even I said that. I said, dang. Right. I'm reading shit on myself going, wow, he's wildin'. That's me. This dude's a wild. Wait a minute. This is me?
And how many people read that and then send you messages? You're vile. I can't believe you would disgrace a woman like that.
But
and it's like,
on the other end,
yeah,
my mental, as far as like, I was off for a week.
Yeah.
Locked in a hotel room, avoiding a process server, right? So I'm sitting here reading everything on the internet. I came on the internet and we're everywhere. And I'm going, just my mental was a little messed up, right? And then slowly people started calling, leaving voicemails and texting. But the voicemails meant more than the texting.
Yeah.
Or actually talking to me. I remember thinking, okay, I got to be a halfway decent person. Because if I'm not, then nobody would have reached out.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, everybody I know that's been through a messy divorce reached out. Guys. Because they knew what I was going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that told me, shut up.
Did Dr. Dre call you?
Dr. Dre did not call me. He was going through his own shit.
Yeah.
You got time. I'm talking about guys that are past the divorce. I'm talking about Kev, Shaq.
Yeah.
Just give me advice, and they all said the same thing. Just be quiet. Just shut up. Don't. I know sometimes you want to say something on social media. Don't. Yeah. It'll go away. Somebody else. Thank God, Steph Curry's parents broke up.
Oh,
they took the heat off of me for a couple weeks.
The group chat was hot during that one. Everybody was sitting there and was like, yo, who go shoot they shot?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, where's she? Yo, when they play the Lakers, if she down here, I'm here. You're like,
But I was just like, oh, I need to hear that because you're, man. And then I got on stage in Baltimore the first time I got on stage after it had been a week since the shit hit the fan. And I just remember I was on stage and I was about 45 minutes into my act, and this lady just heckled. She goes, "I love you, little cheating ass." And I just went, I'm not going to say it's true or not true. I just need to hear that. Thank you so much. That's all I said. I go, I really need to hear that.
Everybody started
right.
laughing.
Everybody lost it. And I was just like, I just need to hear that for my own sanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank God. It's not like we're the first people get divorced. But yeah, like I get those DMs all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I used to support you, now I don't. And then they'll say something like, well, let's be honest. You never really supported me.
Right.
You're never going to buy a ticket to see me.
Exactly.
Let's be very honest about this.
Buying a hard ticket is, in your business and in mine, very important to the artist.
Oh, my
Touring
God.
and things like that. That's when you really know who's really there supporting you. And that's why you'll always win. Because you have people that'll buy hard tickets.
Right.
Or digital now because of COVID. Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's insane, man. But you know, I always say it's like, it's sad because there's certain things that I want to say verbally, but I can't because I know that I'll have all these people coming in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's like, you know, I went to eat and there was like a women's bathroom and an all gender bathroom. And I'm like, what about the man? I can't say I'm a man no more.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I was like, oh, I can't tweet that. It's gonna come out wrong.
No.
The context won't be there.
Yeah.
You know, they won't understand it. And it's just like, what a world we live in.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, I go home and you know what I do nowadays? I just play Call of Duty now. I got a PlayStation. Well, my son's PlayStation, we got one during the pandemic. And I just like, I realized like I go on walks and I play Call of Duty. Cause when I want to just blow shit up and do shit and I get mad, I'm just on here yelling at the TV or yelling at one of these little kids online. Shut your bitch ass.
And you can do it in that.
I can do it then. I can do it then.
You might have called you a bitch.
Right. You're right.
Death, ho.
Yeah.
Death.
They came out, there was some gamer that he was like, oh, he was using, you know, racial slurs. And I was like, I hear him every day.
Yeah.
He's like, they be like, oh, it's another nigger on. You know, I was like, yo, mama, like, it happens in the gaming world, you know? Yeah, man, it's tough out here, man. But it's, you know, I just always say, like, you know, going back to what we came through and what we did, no, we weren't on the front lines, like Saving Private Ryan, getting, you know, shot up or things like that. But we still sacrificed and we were saying that, hey, I am ready for whatever. And we shot off a few tomahawks when the war started. And we were over there. One of our shafts locked up and we couldn't move and we were a floating duck. I said, man, if somebody shot a torpedo, we all gone.
Yeah.
Because we were looking for Al-Qaeda coming out the Suez Canal. And we were there for about in that region for about 6 to 7
Yeah,
months.
because your ship wasn't big like that.
Nah, but
Wasn't a
that's why we
carrier.
were, so
can
the
go down the
carrier,
canals.
carrier group was around, but yeah, we
Yeah.
were, and then we would get our small boat people, like in Captain Phillips, when they put the guys, that was my
Yeah.
boat, and then we get on the rib, and we had the gunner's mates teams that would go on and do those MEO ops, and you know, you look at this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back to school, so I'm not gonna be an officer, and I was like, yeah, I know what I'm definitely doing, and from that point on, man, it was just.
How'd you start working with Rotimi?
So Rotimi, we met in
Did I pronounce his name wrong?
Rotimi.
I said
It's
that
like-
right, didn't I?
Well, some people say Rotimi, but it's
What'd I say?
Rotimi.
Rotimi?
Yeah, Rotimi. Yeah.
My fault. Rotimi. What I say,
No.
Rotimi?
we met.
I'm a butcher name. Butcher some shit.
We had our first conversation end of 2017. I was managing a group that was signed to Atlantic Records at the time, and the guy who had put that group together also was friends with him, and he wanted to try to vamp up his music side of his career. So we had a conversation about me coming in with his team that was already in place. And then January, 2 months later, he called me. He was like, yo, I just fired my whole team. I'm gonna fly to LA. Let's sit down.
Is this January 2018 then?
2018, yeah.
Okay.
And then we sat down at Tender Greens. I used to take all my meetings at Tender Greens in
Yeah,
Culver City.
spot.
Yeah.
Damn, we
and-
got a lot in common, bro.
and
And different worlds,
man.
though.
Yeah. And we took a meeting in, and I was a fan of where he could go. I told him I wasn't a fan of everything he had put out before. And I was like, but this song, he had a song called Want More. That was with this artist Cranium. I was like, if we kind of stick in this void right here and build out, I was like, no one's going to be able to be in your own world. And, you know, to this day, I always equate him to like a modern day Craig David, to where, you know, there's not every project we've put out, I've not had one person call me and say, hey, man, I had to skip this song. Like, it's a thing of music. When you be like, yo, man, I got an album with no skips. That means every song is worth listening to. And, you know, we always put out great projects. And so, you know,
I can't get past Power.
Today the Grammy nominations came out. We didn't get one, but he's gonna get one soon.
Well, they're
I
probably
really
watching
see that.
Power. They're like, this guy's
Probably
an
that.
asshole.
You know what's so crazy? Culturally, that role that he played was so dynamic that people can't equate the difference even today.
I can't.
And it's wild. It's
Snitch,
wild.
asshole.
Right?
I wanted him he's one of those characters like I wanted him to die but not die.
Yeah.
Because I knew the show would suffer without him.
Right.
So you're like this. I want him to die, but not yet.
Right. You know-
no, I wanted him to suffer, not
Yeah.
die. I wanted him to suffer.
We would go to Essence Festival, and it was partly
I
promoting
saw him
Power.
in Essence a couple years ago.
It
I think I saw you there.
Yeah. It would be promoting Power, but then we would also have performances and doing that stuff. And so they would be like, "Oh my God, Dre, I hate you, but I love Rhythm. That's my song."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you got to pick a side. You got to pick one. But
he was
realized
already
that.
on Power when you started working with
Yeah,
him?
He was going into his final season.
Oh, okay.
When we really got rolling.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
God, he was a dick. God, he was
Yeah.
such a fucking snitch.
Yeah.
Backstabbing motherfucker.
Yeah, nah. So you know, like I said, the music that he was putting out, his last album, All or Nothing. We just announced his first headlining tour that's starting in January, and we're doing North America and Europe. So, you know,
Speaking of podcasts, though, how fun is T-Pain's podcast?
oh, I didn't go that day.
Oh, you didn't go that
no,
one?
because I live here in LA and they're in Atlanta, so he just drove over to his house. But Payne is hilarious.
Man,
And
I did it.
He
I did
called
it right
afterwards.
for
He
you.
was like, "Yo, I love that." He was like, "Bro, that shit was so fun."
Dude, I did it right for you.
Okay.
They had me so liquored up.
Right.
Oh my God, I was at his house for like an hour ago. Dude, when we starting, by the
Yeah.
time we started, I was gone.
I don't know. I haven't been to his new house, or I don't even know if this is the same house I went to probably 12 years ago. He used to have a stripper pole in the basement.
Yeah, you still got it.
Okay.
Yeah, same house.
And his wife, I remember I went there for his birthday party. His wife brought in probably 20,000 duffel bags of just ones. Had all the strippers come from Magic City and Onyx.
Oh,
And
wow.
We was up
Yeah, I
in there for
wasn't-
his
it wasn't
birthday
like
party.
That night. It
Yeah.
wasn't like,
I was
I was like this.
yeah.
No, just me and him.
I got in trouble. When I got home though. My wife at the time was like, "Where you been?" And I was like, "Oh, I was at a birthday party." Glitter on the face, right?
Yeah.
like,
That's,
like
it's so funny. I remember I had worked with Jamie Foxx on Held Up, this movie, and then I didn't see him for like a year and a half. And that year and a half, I met my now ex-wife.
Okay.
We were dating. And I saw Jamie out, and she was like, "Gary, come back to the crib, man, after we leave this club." And everybody knew how Jamie's parties was at
Yeah.
the club, right? So I was like, "All right." And I called. I said, "Yo, I just saw Jamie. He invited me over." She was like, "Your shit will be on the lawn if you go to his house." I looked at Jamie and go, "I can't come over." I was like, looking back, I should have just went.
should have just went. Man,
I should have just went. I was like this.
Dude, those Jamie Foxx parties are legendary. And you know, I've been in LA almost 11 years now. And I'll tell you, I'm not even gonna name this actor because I don't want to put his business out there, but there's one actor, like just being in his presence. You know those shows when a person walks in, there's like a gold glow around
Yeah.
them. And every time you're like, how does he do it?
Yeah.
It's I'll tell you after the interview's
Yeah.
over. But going to after parties with him is incredible.
Jamie's house? Man. I tell you what, I got to live it. Because one summer, I was single. I was in LA. I just got out here. So I was able to live a Hollywood summer how you would think it was in
Yeah.
your early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
Like it's stories I will never divulge in public, but man,
It was
I
insane.
had some fun nights. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Which
Whew.
with some people I still run into this
It
day. Like,
was. You know who else used to have really great cookouts and parties out here that I could say was Wilmer Valderrama. And Wilmer's a good friend of mine.
different audience than mine.
Different audience.
Different
But
circle.
you'd be surprised.
No, I know, but I'm talking about as far as me getting invited, that's
Oh,
a different
oh.
circle. Fox,
Yeah.
I ain't gotta be invited. I could show up.
Just pull
and
up.
everybody would be like, "Oh, Gary."
Yeah.
Wilmer, they'll probably be like, "Who? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he's cool." It wouldn't be like just welcoming.
Yeah,
Like, wait,
yeah, yeah.
whoa.
Nah, we used to be over there. It'd be a lot of actors and other folks, but it was just always fun. You
Yeah.
know, grilling out, barbecuing, nothing crazy. And then you just realize, you'd be like, wait a minute, is that, this actress or that actress? You'd be like, wait, no, that's Miss America. Wait,
Yeah.
she's Miss what? What country is she?
Isn't it crazy
Like,
how some guys just they they make the call and people show up at their house.
Yeah.
Like Chappelle's doing that now with his tour.
Yeah.
Every city he goes to, everybody from that city comes out.
It's coming out. Yeah, Justin flew to Minneapolis and did Minnesota.
Oh,
with
that's
him.
right.
And
That's
Usher was
right.
there. Yeah, Usher did. Usher just did Atlanta too.
Yeah, and him and T-Pain made up.
Yeah, right.
Like Dave is like that guy. Like whoever you got a beef with.
Yeah.
It's just he needs to get like Russia with us.
Put it
If he
together.
can get Trump to come to a show, we'd probably just forgive him.
Yeah,
at
no.
this point.
Instead of Dennis Rodman needs to take him to North Korea.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Dave should be the president.
Right.
And then everybody be good.
Everybody be
you know
good.
what I mean? Just everybody, there's something about him. And like you said, there's people with that glow about him.
Mhm.
Like, you get around somebody like, in my line of work,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, when you're with them
Yeah.
is when you get it.
Yep.
It ain't about, was his last special funny, or I don't like him in this movie, or blah, 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 I don't like this YouTube video I saw. It's just when you're with them, then you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Something about they bring you into their world and they make you feel like you're very important.
Will's like that. Will Smith.
Yeah. Oh, without question.
Yeah.
I haven't spent enough time with him
Mm-hmm.
to know. Like I've spent a lot of time with Dave and Kev, so
Yeah.
I can, close. But Will, the 5-6 times we've been around him, it's the
Yeah.
same. You get it. You're like,
Because you're like, man, it's Will Smith, and Will's like, yo, what up? What's good? Talk
so
to me. Like,
simple.
and you're like, what? You're like-
I met him when you shoot Wild Wild West, like '98.
the one movie he says was his worst.
Well,
yeah.
I think he passed on like The Matrix or some crazy
Yeah.
shit that he passed on for the Wild Wild West. But even then, he was Jada was pregnant
Mhm.
with
Jaden.
Jaden. And what I remember is we had a mutual friend, and he brought me into his trailer,
Mhm.
and Charlie Mack was there, of course.
Charlie Mack.
And we're sitting there, and I remember realizing we're just shooting the shit. Jada's pregnant, her mom's there, and Will and Charlie Mack, and that was it. And we was on the I think we was on the Warner Brothers lot. I'm not sure, but I remember thinking, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on right now? I am literally in the Fresh Prince's trailer just shooting the shit like nothing. And then I went outside and he had a Bentley. I had never seen a Bentley.
Mhm.
I didn't know what kind of car it was. I just saw the B and I go, what kind of made up shit is this? I never heard of a Bentley in '98. I was like, what kind of car
Yeah.
is this? And Will got in it, we're showing out the shit. I go, who makes this? He goes, Bentley. I go, is that Ford? It's like a Ford Bentley? He's like, no, it's a Bentley, homie. I've never heard of a Bentley
Wow.
in my life. I was like, oh, this is some future shit.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he is like that. Anybody in the music business, like you just get around him, and you're like,
Scooter's like that. There's a mystique about him that people don't think that he is a personable person. He's probably one of the most personable people
Yeah.
out there. I'm trying to think. One of my, because you hear about the stories of like the Irving Azoffs and the David Geffens and the
Yeah.
old school Hollywood, like, cutthroat, like, Geffen opened the Roxy because he couldn't book his artists at the Troubadour.
yeah.
And like he was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go down the street and build a
Right.
venue." It's like but there's one of my favorite people I would say is Sal from who's the Weeknd's manager. This is EXO.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I said that like I know him. Oh, yeah, Sal.
Yeah, Sal has a great company. He has The Weeknd, Doja Cat, all those different acts. Same guy I met years ago, Future, who manages Drake, is the same. They're all Canadians too, which is crazy. They're
How
from
about,
Canada.
change the subject completely.
Yeah.
As far as like touring and making money on the road,
Mhm.
Comedians, we just have a microphone.
Right.
I've done theater shows where I've headlined
Mhm.
and pulled up in my car, went on stage, got back in my car, either went home or went back to the hotel,
Right.
and had no entourage. Like went in, did my hour and a half, and I'm back, right? And I remember Miguel came to Cincinnati probably 3 years ago, and I was just at the same theater he was like 2 weeks before.
Right.
And I remember pulling up, and he had a bus, and I went in and saw him prep for the show, and he had the stay. I go, man, the overhead is crazy.
Yeah.
My overhead was the microphone.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking at ticket prices, and I'm trying to figure out the math on it as
Yeah.
we do. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, how much are you really taking home after all the overhead
Yeah.
with that?
So it depends. So I'm literally in the middle of budgeting now and figuring it out. So let's just say on an average I don't know, what was the capacity of that place?
Probably 2,500.
Okay. So 2,500 venues. So that means you definitely got 2, possibly 3 different ticket tier prices. Because was there a balcony?
Oh yeah, I was looking at the
So
ticket
you got
prices too.
you got the balcony, you
Yeah.
got the lower, but then you got the VIP tickets. So that's the ones that they're gonna let get straight up to the stage, also with a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Those tickets might be $300 to $500 depending on the artist.
Yeah.
Or 3 to 5 is kind of, so I would say like 250,
Yeah.
200 or something, right? But then the balcony seats might be $40, $50. So you got those tiers. Then you got your meet and greet VIP tickets. So 2,500 venue, he might do 200, 300 VIP tickets with meet and greets. So now you got that revenue coming from just the VIP packages and your regular ticket packages, and you're selling merch. So you got 3 different revenue streams coming in for that night. So if his overhead is, you know, 10, 15,000 a show, they've probably budgeted it out to where they can sell and get the ticket price to be at 20, 25,000 take back.
Yeah.
Not including merch, not including if you did an after party or anything else, you know?
Is it, I've heard also about tours that when a label or somebody gets behind them, they put, quote unquote, their travel up front. So you might have like a, you know, 25 city tour, but they give you like, let's say 300,000 for travel off the top.
Yeah. It's called tour support.
Tour support.
Yep.
And that's why I've heard like sometimes artists you'll see in the beginning, they'll be on a private jet. By the end, they'll be on Southwest.
Yeah, the private jet stuff is stupid. Even my clients now, outside of Rotimi, because he already had like fame before the music, but all of my artists, I tell them like, we're not booking first class tickets until you got a platinum record. Like, you know, Delta Comfort is just fine.
I would hate you.
I don't even book a first class ticket for myself.
But if you get, how about this? But if you get a good Delta number, you can get upgraded, right?
I'm dying. I was diamond in April of this year. I've flown 280,000 miles this year.
Oh yeah, I'm 3 million miler on Delta.
Yeah. Oh, see, yeah.
I'm coming up on United right now. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I'm flying every
United.
week. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing. It's like figuring out and how much budget wise, right? Like I'm budgeting. I got another artist coming to finish her album, and I'm like, I want to be at a better studio, and I know that studio is $1,000 a day, so I'm spending $5,000 for that week for the studio. I'm spending, you know, another $1,000 for the travel and the hotels for that week, or $1,500. So now that's $6,500, and I ain't even got a record yet. So we better get a fucking single or something out of this.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the business and it's overall budgets, because then I just called our label, Rotimi's label, and I was yesterday, and we're talking through budgets, and I'm like, yo, I need this amount for tour support. And then, you know, you try to get sponsors and stuff too. That's the other thing. Like, you know, he could have had a liquor sponsor that came in and put money towards it, which now you're using that. All right, this $75,000 is going to pay for the band, the bus, and everything. Yeah. Because those buses, you know, we're doing a 15-city run, and buses can run up to, you know, right now as a Star, you got 2 different kinds of Star Coach with 12 bunks, or the Star Coach has 6 bunks in the bedroom in the back, right? Yeah. You know, that might run you $50,000 for the month. Yeah. Just one bus. But if you need 2, that's already 100 right there, you know?
Yeah, comedians, we ain't got overhead like that.
Yeah.
Like I just saw Joe Coy last week, and he's got his own bus. He's got the Netflix bus.
Oh, okay.
And it's the 6 bunks with the bed in the back.
Yeah, Star Coach, yeah.
So I just wondered, and then I was like, he just going city to city on the bus. He literally gets off stage and goes to the next city. But again, those are the only people on the tour. He doesn't need anybody else. He's got his manager on it. He's got his openers. He's got his DJ, his
The
web
openers
guy.
are on the bus too with him? Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a lot of times comedians, like our openers, they do more than just open.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Oh, so they're like a part of the crew that y'all have. Though.
Yeah, you got to realize you got comics out there, man. They just want to work. So I downsized tremendously since the divorce and COVID.
Yeah.
You know, I was traveling with 3-4 people. I'm just with one person right now because I'm like, I only need a bunch.
Was your divorce in California or
Ohio?
Oh, okay. Phew.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Oh, we fought. It was California, Ohio.
Lucky.
Yeah, we got a house in Ohio, and then we got a house in California.
Okay.
I was like, no, our home is Ohio.
Yeah,
I vote in Ohio. I pay taxes in Ohio.
All right, yeah.
I'm Ohio.
Yeah.
Trust. Nah, California's just a chill out. Let's hang out. But no. But yeah, everybody said that. Come from Ohio. I go, shoot, Ohio?
I was about to pat you on the back. You said California. I said,
Nah,
man, I'm sorry.
No, I vote everything. I've always been an Ohio State resident. But I just realized, like, for what I was getting out of my old road manager and everything else, the service they're providing, not that it was bad. It was just like, I mean, comedy clubs kind of run themselves. And then when I'm on these theater dates, lately I've either been with EPS or I'll headline some, but they got the in-house security. And then I bring my guy. Yeah. And he opens, and then he does all the little stuff for me.
Gotcha.
He's so appreciative of the stage time, and
He just wants to change.
This guy's out of Pittsburgh, and no way out. Not no way out, but just hadn't had the opportunity to be on the road like this.
Right.
This is something he's dreamed of this. As a
Gotcha.
comedian, you first get in the game, you just want to be on the road.
That makes sense.
And
That's
he's
something that
so-
I would have done then.
Oh yeah, he's so
you know?
ecstatic. And sometimes I feel bad. He's like, "Nah, you don't understand, G. Fuck, you worked me through the pandemic.
Yeah.
All the other comics in Pittsburgh weren't working." He goes, "They're looking
That's
at me
dope.
like, dang, you working, making money?"
I always wondered about that. I never made a dime in music the first 5 years that I did everything.
Yeah.
Never made a dime. I didn't make
But
a
don't
dime
you-
until I started working with Justin.
Do you wish, when you say the first 5 years you weren't making any money, you know, my first couple years I wasn't making no money, stand up, but I miss those days of just, you were so happy to get on the list at the comedy club. Like,
Yeah.
I'm up tonight.
Yeah.
Your stomach starts butterflies and stuff, and then slowly it becomes a business.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, was it the same? Like you were just so happy to be working and being
Yeah. And then it was
the
just
rooms
like,
with these people.
yeah. And then when you start seeing what you knew or thought could have been, like we never knew that he was going to be, you know, a complete mega superstar, right? Like there were times, like because then we had the documentary Never Say Never come out. Like I couldn't walk down the street in certain, especially in Spanish countries. Like we would have to send
that big?
decoys that big. Like it was people used to chastise us for saying this, but it was Michael Jackson levels. Like we would have to, I would send decoys to a city the day before we would get there. And you would see thousands of people running in the street, taking over the hotels. I mean, you go online and see Australia. We couldn't even go back to the hotel. They shut down Sydney when they were like, "Oh, it's a hazard for people being there, and it's a safety issues and stuff." And they canceled the performance. Them girls went fucking mad, tearing up shit all the city. We had to leave the city and go out and stay we had a friends, some of our friends that lived outside of Sydney, and we were like held up at their house for 8 hours on the phone until figuring out we can get back to our hotel. Our hotel had been overrun.
Damn.
Not by a militia, by 16-year-old
Yeah.
teenage girls.
That motherfucking sing, though.
Like,
That motherfucking
right.
sing. I'll tell
You know what I'm
that.
saying? So
He's getting better with age.
yeah, and it's just it's very insane on just how life just takes you in different places, man. But it's been an interesting time.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I want to hold you up. I appreciate you coming on. I just thought I was looking forward to interviewing you because we always see each other in social circles.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know your whole story.
Yeah.
I just knew you was in the Navy, and then you're in the music business.
Right.
And then we always seem to end up. And I don't go out in LA that much.
Uh-huh.
It seems like the few times I go out, you're there.
Because I say this, like, I don't go to everything, but I go to, like, the things, because I'm at a point in my life and my career, too, where a lot of people know me. Because I'm also, we didn't even talk about this, but I own a restaurant in New York. It's called The Cabin.
And
I'm
which one in Vegas? Because
I'm involved with H-Word Group. So H-Word Group is a group that was started by John Turgeon and Brian Toll. Years ago, I used to have equity in a nightclub called Hooray Henry's, which is now the Peppermint Club. I don't have equity in the company anymore, but I'm still a part of the company with everyone and what they're doing. But I help a lot of the athletes, a lot of artists, music, celebs. I move around to all of our spaces. Plus, if I do anything with my talent, I have all of our spaces. So, like, we opened Delilah in Vegas at the Wynn.
You guys aren't open
Opening
like
Delilah
Mondays.
in Miami. Nah.
Yeah, it's the day I went.
Monday's a dead time. Yeah,
That's
Monday's
the day I was like this. Dude, I'm going to support. go out to eat.
Tuesday through Sunday is so much. You got to give a break in between and give the staff time. You know what I'm saying?
The movie I was shooting, our off days was Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
So Sunday I was watching football. I wasn't going
yeah.
out. Like we all had this bar at
Well, you're in Vegas. The games are over by 8:00.
That's all right.
Right. You went to bed.
But I'm saying we gotta go to bed. We gotta work. So we always go to Money Baby, this place in the Virgin.
Yeah.
And then Mondays was just a completely off, nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I got burned twice, not thinking. I go, I'm off. Let me call.
All the
go to
cool
the restaurant.
all the cool spots are closed.
I was like, what the fuck? 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember I texted you like, what's
Yeah.
your spot called? All
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna go check it out.
Yep.
Closed.
Yeah, man. So so this, just entertainment, hospitality, everything just really goes hand in hand. That's just where we're at with life right now.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Taking time out of your day. And I'll see you at
Thanks for
some
having
random
me.
party somewhere again.
Hey, man, all the right ones.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
All
you,
right.
man.